Hi everyone, it's me, alone, because Tom is busy tonight. I know I've done this alone a couple of times, but so far it's not gotten easier. I've heard people say that when making videos it becomes far more normal to talk to yourself alone after a while, but it's been a while, like a year, and it hasn't gotten better for me yet, so I don't know. But on top of that, Tom says that whenever I do this alone I sound like Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh, just how depressed I sound, so I'm gonna try to sound a little more chipper. I even have a coffee with me, just to see if that helps. I don't think it will, but hey. Yesterday Tom went for an induction somewhere, and it was meant to be 2 hours, so I was just gonna chill in a coffee shop for 2 hours, which I've done before. It's a thing for me. I guess it's a hobby, which is just sad and weird actually, that's really creepy. So I went to this cafe, and I just thought, because I was going to be there 2 hours, I was like, after 1 hour I'll get a second coffee. Just because I don't know, maybe it's weird or something's wrong with me, but I feel kind of guilty if I sit in a cafe for a long time and don't buy anything, so I have to like give them something, so just getting coffees is fine, because I like coffee anyway. So I got a flat white, and it was about an hour and a half, and then I got a matcha latte because I thought, well, it's pretty neat that they have matcha, because, I don't know, you don't find it too often in London. There used to be a cafe in London that was entirely dedicated to matcha flavoured things and just using matcha and everything. It was called Panda V, which is a French name, so French-Japanese cafe. But it closed down, I think, last year, which is really sad, or early this year. I really liked it, but I mean, I was only able to go to it occasionally whenever I happened to be in that area of London, otherwise it was kind of out the way, so it makes sense. There's not a massive market for matcha in London, really. Which is unfortunate, because I think it tastes great, but then again, I also have a lot of friends who think it tastes like crap. What do you think of matcha? Tom doesn't mind it. He doesn't like hot drinks at all, ever. Sorry if you can hear noise in the background. He doesn't like hot drinks at all, ever. I forgot what I was saying. But he doesn't mind the flavour of matcha, like he's had matcha flavoured pocky and stuff, just not drinks. But I do, I like it, and I have a friend who currently lives in Malaysia who really loves it, so because she lives in Malaysia, I can't often go and get stuff with her, which is unfortunate. I don't like going into London alone. It just feels a bit weird. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because, you know, when there's two of you, you're talking to each other, so other people are kind of put off talking to you. When you're alone, I don't know, people are just weird, and they're like, oh, now I feel like I can approach this person. I also hate, I don't know if any of you get this, but let me know, when you're in your home city or whatever and people ask you for directions. Like, I don't know where you guys live, but I live around London. Like, I live just outside, in Greater London. It's not great. That was bad, sorry. But I don't know London like the back of my hand or anything. Like, I can navigate the underground really well. It's pretty easy once you've done it once or twice. Basically, if you're near an underground station, you can't really be lost. But you can find really creepy people. But I just hate when people ask me directions, and I sound really English. I sound kind of posh English. It's actually a detriment. I sound middle class. I'm very much not, but I sound it. I don't know why. My family don't sound this way. Like, one of my cousins speaks in Cockney slang. It's weird. It's odd. You know, like apples and pears. That's the most basic example. It means stairs. It's basically getting two words that rhyme, and they mean something else. Like Brahms and Liszt means pissed, which we use for drunk. It's beautiful language, isn't it? What was I saying before talking about Cockney slang? I'm so bad at this, even with coffee. Right, London, can't get lost. Yeah, when you're alone, people seem more happy to ask you directions, and I don't know. I could be like, once I was in Bank, which is in central London. It's near St Paul's Cathedral, if anyone knows that. And a couple of German tourists asked me how to get somewhere. I can't remember where they asked, but I know it was like, it was very close by. Like, I don't know, a 15-minute walk? But I had no idea where. I was like, I know what train you can get to get to that place, but I don't know how to walk it, because the streets in London are just so convoluted. You take one quote-unquote shortcut and you end up in the middle of nowhere. And it's just weird. Like, you can be in a nice area. Like, Covent Garden is a really, really posh area. It's gorgeous and there's tons of expensive shops that I can't afford to be around, and every time I go to Covent Garden I feel like scum. But if you take a random side street, even near Covent Garden, you end up in just, I don't know, a lane that smells like pee. I know this because it happened to me a couple of weeks ago. I was literally passing through Covent Garden. I had an appointment somewhere. And Google Maps was messing around for me because my phone can't seem to use Google Maps properly. And I was like, I think this is a shortcut to get to the road I'm actually meant to be on, that Google Maps won't show me. Because Google Maps was telling me to go through a building, but the building didn't open up on the other side, so I couldn't. So I was like, I'll just take one of these side streets, they'll be fine. Because it wasn't like a dark, creepy alley or anything. It was very brightly lit. There were pretty lights streamed across the buildings. As soon as I stepped foot into the alley, I very nearly stepped in poop. The worrying thing is, I'm pretty sure it looked more like human poop than dog poop. I can't tell for sure. I don't want to think about it. But it is what it is. London is basically a piece of that. I don't know if I should swear in these. I'm pretty sure me and Tom have done it enough already that this isn't a child-friendly channel in particular, but then again I make Sims videos, so it's going to hurt me if I'm not. I say that, I don't have many subscribers, so nothing really will hurt me. Unless you guys tell me you don't like my videos or builds, that would hurt me. No, I'm kidding, I wouldn't care. I would care so much. Anyway, so that's enough about coffee and poo. I don't actually ever call it poo, by the way. I normally say shit. I find it weird to say poo, I don't know. Let me know what you refer to it as in the comments down below. Don't actually. Unless you want to. I loved in high school, I went to a very Catholic high school, it was a bit weird. Nobody who went to that school liked it. And science lessons were awful, at least in the first year they were, because they taught us sex ed and stuff like that. And basically, everything they taught us was, Jesus doesn't like it when you do these things, it makes him sad. And the only thing they really taught us about sex was pretty much, if you have it, you will get pregnant and die. They literally showed us a video of a woman giving birth and dying while giving birth. And my teacher, when we were 11 years old, said to us, do you girls know why she died when she had her baby? And we just saw this pretty graphic video. It was like a VHS tape. Even back when I was in high school, I say it like, oh my god, I sounded old. Even when I was in high school though, videotapes were old. Kinda. So, anyway, and it was graphic and creepy and awful. It was just a lot. And she said, do you know why she died after having her baby? It's because she had sex out of marriage. And like, there's no way to prove that. That video is probably taken wildly out of context. I don't know. There weren't many good science teachers in my high school. There were a couple. There weren't many good teachers in my high school. I hated high school. Can you tell? Does anyone like it? Anyone ever who's ever existed, has anyone liked it? Signs point to no. But hey, I don't know, maybe. You should like it. No, you shouldn't like it. No one has to like it. If you don't like it, that's fine. You won't be there forever. It'll be over before you know it, and you'll never have to see those people again, hopefully. I really want to move out of the area in which I live, because I live like a while away from my high school, like a good 45 minutes to an hour away from where I went to high school, but I go into like the big shopping hub near it sometimes, because it's in between kind of my high school and where I live, and sometimes I see people that I used to go to school with, and it triggers me a bit. Like, I don't want to look them in the eye, I don't want to speak to them, I just don't want to remember, even if they were nice enough people who didn't actually bother me or anything. I just don't want reminders of high school. This sounds like it was really traumatic, and actually it was. Yeah, it was horrible. Anyway, back to the build. I say back to the build, we haven't addressed the build once, but hey, what do you think of it? It's coming along. Maybe not nicely, but it's coming along. So it's meant to be like a converted barn on a bit of a hill. There used to be a bit of a farm around it, but I guess not anymore. But in Brindleton Bay, like, the inaccessible areas, some of them look like crop fields and stuff, which was pretty cute. And so I reckon, oh my god, I reckon, that the person owning this house also owns land very nearby. Maybe they have some horses or just an apple orchard or something. When I was a kid, my uncle owned a farm. Now I do sound very middle class. My uncle is middle class. Well, I mean, you can't really earn being middle class in the UK. If you're born working class here, you are scum for life. And that's what I am. I'm scum. No. Kind of. But yeah, no, anyway. My uncle's pretty well off though. Unfortunately, he's not my dad, he's my uncle, so I get nothing out of that, but pretty neat. He's pretty well off, and that's partly because he owned a farm when he was younger. I don't know much about how we came into getting it, but he did. And he had an apple orchard, which was lovely. He also had some cows. I think just for their milk. I'm pretty sure he didn't... Well, let's not unvegan this video. But anyway, I met the cows, and I met his sheep, and I named them all, and he told me I wasn't allowed to. Okay, this was when I was in primary school. I was like... I don't know, I think I was 8. Maybe younger though. Certainly no older than that. And so we went to look at his sheep, and I named one. Okay, all of them had to have A's in their names so I could, like, bleat. So, like, Mary, Barbara. So, yeah, oh god, that's embarrassing. Why did I do that? Haha. Moving on. But yeah, I named all the sheep. And then we went to have dinner later on, and we were talking about our days and stuff, and I was like, oh, I named you a sheep for you, and he said, you can't do that, and I said, why? And his wife said, oh, don't say it, Paul, and he said, because we have to kill him. I was so little, and I was just, it was hard. I was like, what? You can't. I'm kind of laughing, but it wasn't a good time. Anyway, let's move away from that awful topic. So this is the kitchen. I actually really like the kitchen. I'm sorry I don't show me, like, doing the house plan. If you would be interested in me showing how I do that, just say, but I don't know. This house plan I actually found easy to do, and it was really weird because I had a solid idea in mind of where the rooms were going to be. Then when I actually started building the rooms, it didn't translate at all. Like, I didn't do what I had in mind, but I actually really like this. But sometimes when I'm doing the house plan interior, it takes me ages to figure things out. Like, sometimes I do a whole thing and I'm like, actually this is ugly as sin and I hate it, and then I just get rid of all of it. So that, yeah, it's like, that's why I don't include the wallpaper part in my builds. That's what takes me the longest somehow. Also, I actually really liked what I did here. I'm trying to do things differently in each build I do, because I feel like I do a lot of the same stuff. So instead of putting a counter there, I put a shelf up, and underneath we put a bin, and I think we put some more clutter in a bit, just to change things up a little. I like it. I think it's cute. I don't know. I've only ever been in one big kitchen, and that was the first house I lived in, and I don't know why it was so big. It was a council house, so it was just... there was a lot of empty space. It wasn't a big house, it was actually very small, but the kitchen was just weirdly large for how small the rest of the house was, if that makes sense. It was mostly just empty floor space, and then the cabinets were all really narrow, and it was weird. I don't know. And half of the kitchen space, like, the floor was the same, there was tiles all over it, but then half the kitchen was just empty, and there was this one heater. Like, there was this dip in the wall with a massive heater that didn't ever work, and the rest of it was empty. It was really weird, and it was an awful house. I've made it in The Sims before. I didn't upload it here. It was very ugly. It was just awful. That was a real life to Sims challenge that just did not work out for me. And I don't think I could, because no one would download it. It was a really ugly house. It was just not worth saving, even if you could save it. Maybe I'll do it, and little Simsy can maybe fixer-upper it. I don't know. Can it be fixed? Who knows? Anyways, what was I saying? I don't know, because I always do this. But here's the kitchen. Pretty cute. What do you think of the terrain tools? I'm actually not struggling with them as much as I thought I would be. That's not to say I don't struggle at all. I did. But I thought it would be harder, because when like I've said before, when I played bits of Sims 3 in the past, and I didn't actually play Sims 3 properly, I played it with my cousin, but I played little spin-offs like Herbs, but you don't actually build in that. You can decorate your homes, but you can't build and stuff. So when I played those, and when I played 3, I never actually used any terrain tools. So this is actually my first time doing it, but it wasn't as hard as I had in mind. Maybe that's just because I'm a really pessimistic person, though. Tom tried it out. He's quite enjoying it too. He's started building this modern mansion thing, and he said, obviously you'll have to finish it. And I was like, excuse me? I have like 5 projects going on. So I gave in and got Get Famous. I was going to wait. I was going to be like, right, well, I'm not missing out, and no one watches my videos anyway, really. Well, a few of you do. Thank you so much, by the way. It really does mean a lot, if any of you are listening. I don't know if you listen to me, but even if you don't listen to my awful voice, thank you. Sorry if I ended the sentence weirdly. I might have to edit it because my mum called me while I was in the middle of talking. So hopefully it still sounds fine. Can I get through one video without somehow messing up the audio or something? No, I can't. Anyway, yeah, so let me know what kind of footage you'd want me to keep and what to cut out or what to include instead. Like, I nearly didn't include me decorating the entryway, just because I feel like I always do the same sort of thing, but the entryway looks really different in this build than I do normally. You probably heard my phone again. That was just my mum, again. She calls me to say goodnight, and then she also texts me to say goodnight. Yeah, anyway. But yeah, so this entryway is slightly different from what I normally do. I kept it open. I normally wall it off a little bit, but I put up some beams, you can see them right now. I just made it bigger, and it's brick, and then I cut it off with a fence to make it look like there's kind of one tiny step up onto the wooden floor. Yeah. I wish you could still manually raise foundations. I get why we can't, and I don't care too much, but it would just be cool if we could manually, you know, how we did it before, like click the foundation and drag it up one. I wish we could still do that, but I get why we can't. And it is doable, just with the tools. It's just getting used to them, you know what I mean? Yeah, they're not, like I said, they're not as hard as I thought they would be. But obviously this is a pretty basic thing I did with them. I just raised a house up and stairs up to it. And I try to use it a bit out the back as well. There's a raised area of the garden, and then the rest of it's sloped, and you can take this little pathway down to the back gate, which is cute. But I want to do more extravagant things with it. Like, I'm going to make a castle at some point. I want to make Franklin's house from GTA, because that's my dream house. I can never actually do a dream house video, because my dream house is Franklin's house from GTA 5. No other house tops that one. Which sucks for me, because Tom's favourite houses are kind of more traditional and small. We've had this conversation a lot of times. He definitely prefers smaller, cosy houses. And I like... Well, I don't want a massive house, but I want it to be spacious, and I want massive windows. I don't know, maybe it's the claustrophobia. Who knows? But yeah, that's that. I still need to playtest this house, so... Although I've already uploaded it, so if some things don't work, like if you can't get in the front door, you probably just need to move that backpack. Because it's a 3 square door, that one I used. But I think they might only need 1 square of space to walk through. I don't really know. Who knows? Not me, clearly. But yeah, so I gave in, blah. What? English? I don't speak that. Haven't heard of her. What was I even saying? Oh, what's wrong with me? I don't do this normally, it's just in videos. I'm like, what was I saying? Nobody knows. I honestly forgot. Wow. Am I 80? Probably. I'm not, by the way. Although I do forget my age sometimes. The other day I was walking to the gym, and this was weird. I was walking to the gym, and this random dude started walking beside me, and I thought maybe it was just that awkward thing where someone was going the same way, and you were going to walk together for like 5 minutes. And he looked like he was dressed for the gym, but I mean, it's freezing out right now, so I was wearing a hoodie and stuff. Like, I was dressed warmly. He was in a sleeveless shirt and shorts, which was a bit weird, but so I was like, he must be going to the gym. He wasn't. He just walked alongside me and suddenly said, hi, and I was like, do I know this guy? Who is he? And I was like, hi. And then just kind of was like, yeah, what? What is it? And then, I don't know, he had a pretty thick accent, so I didn't hear everything he said, but he asked my name. I don't know, first he said, do you live around here? I was like, kind of nearby, sure. But I wasn't going to tell him where I lived. I lived very nearby. I was like, oh yeah, kind of near. And I gestured vaguely in a random direction, and he was like, oh right, what's your name? And I told him, Catherine, and he said his name, and I couldn't hear him, and I was like, that's alright, cool, yeah. And then he said, he asked me my age, and told me his, couldn't hear him again. And then he said, do you want to go out? And I was like, I'm already out. I knew what he meant, but still. And then he said, no, do you want a boyfriend? I was like, I actually have one, and we've been together for 6 years, so I'm not actually looking for one. And then he said, but don't you want a black boyfriend? And I was like, it really doesn't matter. It's just I've been with my one for 6 years, so I'm not looking for any. And he was like, oh, you've got to be kidding, you already have one? And I was like, And then he was like, anyway, I live down this road. I was like, okay, see ya. Oh god. It was really awkward. Well, he also asked if I forgot this part. He also asked if I was French. Don't know how anyone can think I sound French. But I said no, and he was like, oh really? You look French. I like, what? What does looking French look like? I've got a friend who's French and sounds French. I wouldn't say she looks French, because I don't know what that would be. Except unless, like, if someone said I looked English, that would be just as strange. Like, obviously I sound English, but saying, I don't know, I just found it odd. I just found it weird. Maybe it was meant to be a pickup line, but if it was, I didn't get it. But hey, anyway, yeah, living room, we're doing it. So this area was actually going to be the kitchen at first. You know, I said I did a room plan. I had a room plan in my head and didn't adhere to it. Where the living room is where the kitchen was going to be, and it has this balcony, so there was going to be a kitchen here, but it was going to be half the size of that, and then the other half of the room was going to be a sort of grandparents' bedroom, and the grandparents were going to have access to this little balcony. Just made a living room. You could go out on the balcony and play chess. That's pretty much it though. Sorry if I've gotten quiet, I think someone's coming up the stairs and it makes me very uncomfortable. Especially because Tom's out. Normally everyone can just hear us talk and be like, oh, they're talking to each other. But now everyone knows Tom isn't here, and then we're like, oh god, who is she talking to? What's wrong with her? I don't think anyone's coming upstairs though. Hello. This is ASMR. Sims. I'm not doing that, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if that was creepy. But yeah, balcony. Fun stuff. I was gonna cut that part out, because it's just, I didn't do much, I just threw some flowers down. But I thought, why not? Yeah, but that's why this video is quite long. Sorry about that. Tom's probably going to lecture me for how long it is. No, he won't. But still. I've been trying to shorten my videos. I know these are a bit, when they're 20 minutes or more, it's sometimes hard to watch that much. But I'm sorry. I didn't want to separate it into two, but maybe I should have. I just wanted to build something with terrain tools, but since I finally gave in, a whole 1 day later, I really want to build some stuff with the new Get Famous things. But yeah, I wasn't intending to buy it. And then I did. But I save up a lot, so I don't know why I was holding back anyway. Sims is like the only thing I buy usually. I don't buy very much stuff except food and Sims related things really. So yeah. I was like, I won't buy it for a while, I'll save up more money, blah blah blah. And then, not even a whole 24 hours after its release, I was like, well, you know, let's just get it. And so I did. So hopefully I'll be able to build I'm not hopefully, I'm going to build something with Get Famous now. But I have 2 other videos I need to edit and put up prior to that, especially because my PC is full of footage. So, maybe I should invest in a USB where I can put my footage, but I need to upload the rest of that really massive house that's green, the final part of the decorating, and there's another one. What is it? Oh, the Land Grab Mansion Part 2. I've actually finished editing Land Grab Part 2, but I think the other one needs to go up first because it's been a while since I've uploaded that one. I'm sorry, I'm bad at this. I really need to stick to a schedule. I really do. But yeah, so that's this house. I haven't edited the tour yet, so I'm gonna have to do that. I just want to play Get Famous. I have a sim. I made a sim before it even came out, despite telling myself, oh, I don't intend to buy it yet. I'm gonna wait a while, see what people think of it, even though I knew I know I'll get it eventually. I still waited, but despite that, I made a sim beforehand with Get Famous in mind. The bad thing is I've forgotten her name. I think it's Mallory. I hope I said it right. I always put like 15 minutes into researching name etymologies to come up with one. But yeah, she's Mallory. Her mum wants her to be a famous figure skater, but that's not what Mallory wants. She wants to act, but her mum is really strict and she doesn't have a dad around. I don't know why I'm telling you all this. I don't even upload Let's Plays, but I put a lot of thought into the story. I do, however, have a Simstagram for one of my Sims. It's my Shuno Michi, if you want to check it out. Kind of want to do one for my Get Famous Sim, though. I'm actually very attached to her already. She's so cute. Her mum's kind of high maintenance, type A, but we'll see how that goes. She's not an outright villain, but she's not the best mum either. So we'll see. But I don't know, maybe it's not like child friendly enough, like the main character, maybe I shouldn't talk about it. No one's still listening anyway. But the main character of this saga in Get Famous, Mallory, she'll probably develop an eating disorder at some point. I'm not actually gonna download a mod for it or anything, I just headcanon stories, okay? Like, a lot of my Sims have some tragic backstories. I think it's because I watch so much anime. I don't know, everyone's got pasts. I don't know, blah. Like, my most downloaded build on the gallery is the Terendi penthouse that I renovated, and my Sim who lives there has a pretty tragic life, but it's gotten better. He has a lovely boyfriend now, and they're very happy, and they're going to adopt a dog soon. That solves everything. But anyway, we are finally heading into the tour. Hope my voice didn't deafen you. But yeah, enjoy the build. Hopefully I'll get Famous one up soon. So yeah, see you soon. Bye. Thanks for watching, everyone. Be sure to like and subscribe and stuff. Thanks. Bye again.